Good evening, Burlington, and welcome to BNEWS Live Election Coverage 2022. I'm Alan Foulds, and I'm here together with Chris Flaherty of BNEWS and Nancy Kadilak of the Burlington Buzz. Nicci, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's my writing. For you political trivialists, this is our 32nd year of coverage. This year we have 2 contested races on the main ballot, plus town meeting races in one of the 7 precincts, Precinct 6. Nicci, have you heard anything about the turnout yet?
I have. It looks like the turnout was about 2,600, which is about 15.25% this year. Last year and the last few years, it's been about 16.5%. So a little bit down from last year, which is maybe not surprising considering there weren't a whole lot of contested races on the ballot, but was hoping for a little bit more.
Well, nice segue. We did have 2 contested races on the main ballot, plus 1 contested precinct 6. For school committee, we had 2 seats for 3-year terms. We had longtime incumbent Christine Monaco, challengers Jeremy Brooks and Melissa Massardo. For the Board of Health, we had 2 seats for 3-year terms. Longtime incumbent Ed WEINER, along with Janice Cohen and Gail Demore, excuse me. With that, I think we'll head right into the results. What do we have for the school committee?
So for the school committee, Christine Monaco, 1,456 votes. Melissa Massardo, the newcomer, led with 1,592 votes, and Jeremy Brooks with 1,212 votes, and then just 18 write-ins.
And for the Board of Health?
For the Board of Health, we have, oh my gosh, where is it? Here it is. So Dr. Ed leads with 1,691 votes. And then comes Gail Demore with 1,314. And then Janice Cohen ends up with 1,118 votes.
And I don't know if we have these yet or not, but Precinct 6 votes, do we have those?
We do have those.
Good.
That's my precinct. So I would love to
All
read
right.
those off for us. All right. So we have Dan DiTucci Jr. With 302 votes. James Frazic, I'm pretty sure that's the way he told me to, he pronounces his name, with 256 votes. We got Daryl Interest with 263. William Trelligan with 268. Bob Aloisi with 267. And Dan Collins with 250. And that leaves James Round, which is 212 votes and 8 write-ins.
Okay. Well, we have some guests here to talk with you, some of the candidates, and we are starting with Mike ESPEJO. And Chris, would you like to lead us off?
Hi, Mike.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks for coming in. I'm sure you've got a lot of thoughts going on in your head right now, but just initial thoughts on today's results?
On my race?
On your race, yes.
Yeah, okay. I have a lot of thoughts today. I'm very happy with, it was an uncontested race, but I'm still very happy. There's always a wonder that you don't know what's happening. I'm very superstitious, so every time someone would give me premature congratulations, I'd say pending the results of Saturday's election. So I'm very happy and excited to get going.
Yeah, and your first meeting is on Monday. Any thoughts going into that?
Yeah, I'm all excited to go. We jump right into it. I had my last planning board meeting on Thursday. It was a little sad to leave that team and leave the team, but look forward to joining my new team in 2 nights.
Any thoughts to the planning board as you're wrapping up these 3 years with them?
Yeah, like I said at the very end of our meeting on Thursday, thank you to them, all the members of the planning board and planning staff. I went to my first meeting on April 19th of 2019, and I felt like an outsider. And Thursday night, I felt like I was leaving the team, and I feel like I was leaving friends behind. But I will still continue to work with them, and also thank you to planning staff for all their support. They've been great.
Excellent. And just anybody you'd like to thank, campaign team, supporters, voters, the floor is yours.
I do. I have a list, and I apologize for the length. I'm a very lucky person, so I have a lot of people I want to thank. First, I'd like to thank the voters of Burlington for showing their confidence and trust in me. I do not take that lightly, and I'll think of it often, and it's humbling. So thank you for entrusting me with this responsibility. I'd like to congratulate and thank everyone who was on the ballot today. It takes a lot to run one of these campaigns. It's emotional. It costs a lot of money. It's an up and down grind, and the people on that you'll hear from tonight, you'll see it in their face. I'd like to thank my mom, brother, niece's family, everyone that donated to the campaign, hosted a sign, held a sign, offered encouragement. Some specific people I want to thank, Ali Skelly, Liz DiTucci, Joe Marie Buckley, Joe Morandi, Melissa MASSARDO, our newest school committee member, my treasurer, Adam Tigas, everyone on the planning board, planning staff, Paul Sagarino, Chief Brown, Rachel Sampson, Adam Sinesi, and I'd like to thank Bob Hogan for 40 years of dedicated service to the town. And lastly, I'd like to close with growing up as a town, as a young boy in Burlington. I always looked up to Augie Grace. And Augie Grace was an African American who was president of his class at BHS. He then became on the school committee. He chaired the school committee. And then he went on to become state rep for Burlington. And Augie, as a young boy who looked different than the kids, I looked up to Augie. And I reached out to Augie recently for advice. And it is so amazing to know that today is Augie's birthday. And it means so much to me to be elected to the select board on Augie's birthday. So happy birthday, Augie. Thank you for your advice. And thank you, BCAT, for having us.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mike.
All right, we'll have another candidate up in just a minute, but maybe we can look at some of the uncontested races while we're waiting.
Absolutely.
We have two candidates for select board, Nick Priest and Mike ESPEJO. Do we have numbers for them?
Yeah, so Nick had 1,730 votes, and Mike had 1,719 votes, and then we had 50 write-ins. So very close race, and they both got in. And Bob Hogan, who I think Mike just said he served 40 years on the town on many boards, but he, I think, 12 years on the select board and decided not to seek re-election this year.
And I'm sure our moderator has been re-elected. What do we have for numbers for Bill Byer?
Oh, yeah. He's right at the top here. So Bill Byer got 1,828 votes, and there were 21 write-ins here. So he won handily his uncontested election.
Okay. All right, we have our next guest with us, Nick Priest. Welcome, Nick, and
Hi, everyone.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Him. And would you like to ask him some questions?
Absolutely. So congratulations on
Thank you.
winning. I know you thought about this a lot. You've been on the select board for 3 years. What are you thinking going into a second term now?
Honestly, I'm super excited. I always like to say it's never great to see an uncontested race because you want folks to be involved in the democratic process. But I'm honored to take 3 more years and continue the work that I've been working on, and I'm very, very hopeful.
Great. Anything you want to say to anybody in town, or this is your opportunity to say all of your thanks?
Oh gosh,
for
yeah.
everybody.
I mean, obviously a huge thanks to my fellow board members who have supported me, during this endeavor. To my wife, who is my absolute rock. To my kids, Penelope, Quentin, Harrison, and Margaret. To my parents, who have been fantastic supports, and to anyone out there who has voted for me and supported me, since I started this process 3-4 years ago, because it takes all of us. It takes a village to make this work, and it's not just me up here doing the work. It's my job to represent the people of Burlington in all of my endeavors, and so the fact that people choose us to continue doing this work means a great deal to me.
Great. And what are you most excited about for the next 3 years?
Boy, oh boy, I think just continuing the work. There are things that boxes that we open that I would like to close. 3 years ago I ran on communications, and we're actively pushing research into that now. That we can gain results from and hopefully push toward greater success and insights for the community at large. And in my next 3 years I can work on that. So one of many things, of course, but I'm not going to bore you with everything. This is election night. This isn't what Nick's planning on doing.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks
Have
for
a
having
great
me.
night. Go
Yes.
get some rest, my friend.
I'm going to try.
Well, thank you. Well, we'll continue with our uncontested races while we line up our next candidate discussion. I think, let's see, we're down to assessor. We had 1 seat open for a 3-year term, Catherine O'Neill.
Yep. Catherine O'Neill came out with 1,764 votes. There were 11 write-ins for that position.
Okay. Then library trustee, we had 2 3-year seats. Robert Newfield plus, I think, a vacancy, is that right?
Yes, vacancy, and Robert walked away with 1,783 votes, and we had 56 write-ins for library trustees.
Okay.
So, and we don't know who those write-ins are yet. So it could be that we have another library trustees member, but we're not quite sure.
No.
Okay. And let's see, planning board, we had 2 seats for 5-year terms.
Yeah, so Barbara LaRue comes out with 1,572 votes, and Brenda Rappaport comes out with 1,612 votes with 17 write-ins here. Barbara's going to be starting, I believe, her 3rd term, and Brenda's going to be starting her first full term because she started with an appointment last year, a couple years ago, yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah, right. Okay, we have our next guest, Gail Demore. Welcome.
Hi, thanks
Hi.
for having me. So excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure you have a lot going on in your head right now, but just initial thoughts on today's results?
Super excited. I just wanted to say thank you to my family, Peter, Ty, and Trey, my campaign committee, Adrian, Nicole, Kimberly, Dana. We did it. Thank you to all of those who supported me by just hosting or coming out to my events, taking lawn signs, writing dear friend cards, holding signs, simply casting a vote for me. I'm super excited and I can't wait to get sworn in.
And you will be sworn in on Tuesday. That's your first meeting in 2
Yeah.
days. How do you feel about that?
It's coming up quick, but that's how the campaign started, so I guess it's going to keep going. I'm
Awesome.
excited about it.
And just any big takeaways from your experience on the campaign trail?
Takes a village. There's a lot of people who help behind the scenes, out there in the open, and I just am really grateful for all the support I've had.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in.
Glad to be back.
Thanks for coming.
Great. Thank you. Bye. Thanks, Burlington.
All right, this brings us down to we did planning board, excuse me, constable. 2 3-year terms, William Peppercelli and Dennis
Yes.
Oates.
The incumbent, William Peppercelli, 1,591 votes. And then newcomer, Dennis C. Otis, 1,467 votes. And then 6 write-ins. And again, we don't know the results of the write-ins yet.
Okay. And next was Housing Authority, 1 seat for a 1-year term, but I don't know if there was anybody running for that.
Yeah,
No.
so there wasn't anybody on the ballot. There was one candidate who expressed interest in being a write-in candidate, but since I don't have a name, I don't want to talk about that because I don't know if that's the person who came out with the majority of the write-in votes. So there were 370 write-in votes, which makes me think that that we will have somebody in that seat starting this year.
All right, and finally, the Recreation Commission. We had 1 seat for a 3-year term.
Yeah, Stephen Nelson, he's served on the commission for a number of years, 1,801 votes, and then we just had 14 write-ins. So Stephen will be back on the Recreation Commission again.
Okay, and do we have another candidate coming? I thought we had a couple more. Yeah. Well, while we're waiting for that person, I understand there was a student vote today. Do you know anything about this?
I wish I knew more. What I do know is that my daughter went with me and filled out one of those ballots that look very, very much like the ballots that we filled out. So it was really interesting to have my 8-year-old take part in that process. We don't have a final tally yet, but I'll share that, and I'm sure that Chris will too on
Yes.
BCAT.
How long has that been going on? Anybody know?
Oh man, I think Dr. Ed was saying that he helped get that going about 30 years ago.
Oh, come on in.
We have our next guest.
Yeah.
Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Our next guest, Melissa Massardo.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. What are your first thoughts about about today's results?
I'm super excited. I think we had a great turnout, and I think that really helped, and it was great. I had a very long but awesome day.
Awesome. Great. So you're going to be just jumping right in with both feet on Tuesday. What are your thoughts about starting, going to your first meeting in school committee on Tuesday?
I'm really excited just to join the committee. I've met all of the other committee members throughout this process, so I'm really just looking forward to getting to know them better and start learning about what it really means to be a member of the school committee and just diving in with both feet.
Great. All right. Well, I'll leave you a little bit of time then to just thank all the people that you want to thank, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. First, I just wanted to thank the voters for putting their faith and trust in me. Next, I want to thank my husband, Dan, who's been nothing but supportive, and my 2 little boys who have been very, very patient the last month, Miles and Carson. And thank you to the rest of my family, my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my mother-in-law for being the village that's helped support me throughout this whole campaign. I also have to thank my campaign team. They are the most amazing team. I have Allie, Liz, and Joanne, and absolutely none of this would have been possible without you all. So just thank you. I cannot help you enough. And Mike ESPEJO has been a huge motivation and a huge cheerleader in my court this whole time. So thank you very much. I also need to thank all the parents and seniors and the rest of the town elected officials who really have welcomed me into a leadership position in the town, and I don't want to take that for granted. So I'm very much appreciate, and I had a ton of people hold signs and put them on their lawn, and I had folks there today in the hail. So thank you very much. You're really, really appreciated. And I'm just really excited to start this journey, so thank you very much.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you. Congratulations. I'll let you go home and get some rest.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How about that weather, by the way?
Oh my God, I didn't know about the hail. I
what a
somehow
lovely
missed
day.
that.
Right? It started out sunny, and then it got chilly and hail, and then it was just beautiful and sunny. And
We got everything but snow today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I somehow missed the hail. It's the only one I
man.
missed.
It was crazy.
I think we have Christine Monaco, right? Is she the next one?
I think she'll be here shortly.
All right.
We could share the names of the new, or maybe not so new, town meeting members. Yeah.
What the heck?
I can start with Precinct 1. We have several incumbents. Mimi Bix Highland, Brad Bond, Greg Ryan, and Maureen Monaco Ryan are all incumbents who are going to be on town meeting for Precinct 1 again. And then we've got Michelle Huntoon, who also won a seat with 300 votes. And then there were 71 write-ins, which is a decent amount of write-ins. So it makes me think that maybe we will actually fill that 6th seat on Precinct 1 town meeting, but TBD on that. Oh yeah, and there's also the 1-year seat, which Chris Campbell also is going to be taking away with 389 votes. Can you do Precinct 2?
Yeah, sure. So 6 3-year seats, and we have, and I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names, Jorge Adandre, 105 votes, Doug Davidson, 102 votes, Angela Hannafin, 134 votes, Daniel Hannafin, also 134 votes, Patricia O'Brien, 106 votes, and Cynthia Phillips, 104 votes, and just 3 write-ins. So everybody got in Precinct 2.
And Precinct 3?
Oh, I'm sorry. And we also have a 1-year seat for Precinct 2, and Michelle Papagno won that with 122 votes, and no write-ins for the 1-year seat.
And they also, so that was a 2-year seat. They also have a 1-year seat too. So there were a lot of
seats in Precinct 2.
There
Okay.
was some redistricting this year, so everybody kind of moved around and had to rerun for seats. Yeah.
Okay, come on.
We have our next
Take a
guest.
seat.
It's Dr. Ed.
Yes, right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
All right, we have our next guest. Like to ask some questions?
So Dr. Ed, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Before we start, can I just thank a couple of people, please?
Sure.
Yes, of course.
I got to thank my wife who went through all this with me, my brothers Phil and Larry, and my team led by Dan DiTucci and Chris Monaco and Ram V and a number of other people. So I want to thank them very much. I want Bill Byer, another real good mentor. And what am I going to say? It's going to be 36 years for me, and I'm still excited. I'm still excited for what I do, excited about the Board of Health, excited about BCAT. Thank you very much again for doing this. I thank BCAT every single Board of Health meeting for doing what you do for this community.
Thank you, Dr. Ed. Now, you have your next meeting this Tuesday. Any thoughts going into that?
Well, I got to get ready for the meeting Tuesday. It's always up in the air, but we don't have a very long agenda, but we do have an important agenda. I think the Board of Health does some amazing things in this community. For the last 33 years, I've worked very hard to keep our quality of life, keep our community safe, keep our community well, and we've had a lot of work over the past couple of years with COVID, and I want to thank this community who felt that I did a good job and who felt confident in me. I've been doing this a long time, and you always wonder when you run unopposed year after year, do people really care? And I thank this community for caring, because I do care.
Excellent. I know it's a weird thing to say, but the next 3 years, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing the Board of Health?
Well, we've talked about this before. I think first and foremost, we've got to come back to normalcy. We have so many things the Board of Health needs to do and has to do. And at this point in time, we got to do that and do what we planned to do 2 years ago when the house collapsed with COVID, and that is do some more programming. But I think the beauty of COVID was the fact that the Board of Health became a credible resource of information, that we were out there, we were ready, we're absolutely ready. We trained for 20 years. We trained for a pandemic, and guess what? We had one, and we were ready. The Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps is so invaluable to this community, and they really stepped up. So we have to do the normalcy, and then we have to do what we have to do in terms of biotech. This community is moving. We are becoming for a hub of science, a hub of biotech. We've got to make sure that everything we do is safe. And lastly, it's clear that our environment is changing, and we have to take steps to regulate some of those things that we've done that we've not had to do in the past. We may have to do, may not have to do, but it's very clear that we're having some difficult weather in this community. We're having flooding, and what that leads to over and over again. So
We saw a lot of that difficult weather today.
the amount of hail the first time was almost as much as the amount of hail the second time. So.
Well, Dr. Ed, thank you so much for coming in. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know there's a lot of work ahead, so go home and get some rest.
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, I think we have at least one more candidate, so while we're waiting for that to be set up, we'll go through the rest of the precincts.
I believe we left off on precinct. We were still going through precinct 2.
Yes.
Yes.
There was
right.
there was 1 year, 1 year, 2 seats. Kevin Colucci, 135 votes, and Mriston Ann Murphy Courier, 110 votes, and just 1 write-in for that. And then we have precinct 3.
All right, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything here, because some of those precincts do have a lot of different
Yes.
different seats. In precinct 3, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 incumbents and 1 challenger for 6 seats. So Sean Connors ended up with 230 votes. Sherry Ellis ended up with 229. Steve Moran ended up with 198 votes. Brian Pupa, I think that's, or Pupa, 201 votes. Fadine Sateriale was 216 votes, and then Christopher Hartling, who is a newcomer, with 217 votes and 2 write-ins. So we'll leave off with that.
Okay,
and
we
we'll
leave off with
welcome-
that. Christine Monaco, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations. So what are your first thoughts as you kind of process the results from today?
It was a very interesting race. Today I was just overwhelmed with the people that came out, and it was so exciting to see such support. And there was so much that went into this campaign, and so many people. And there's so many people to thank, but I'll just say my family, so many friends, and all the people that worked on the campaign. It was just, it was very heartwarming to get the support, and I was very happy with it.
Great. Well, you've got a school committee meeting in just a few days.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to those.
You've been doing them for a couple of years now.
33 years, I think. I've been to a few school committee meetings.
So what are you most excited about for the next 3 years with school committee?
Well, obviously building Fox Hill, but there are a few things in special ed that I'm hoping to work with Dr. Conti on. He's a fabulous superintendent, and he's very open to suggestion, and I'm really hoping we can make a few changes here. Like especially to get a program at the high school for kids on the autism spectrum.
Yeah, that sounds really great. We talked about that a little bit, just kind of a welcoming environment where people can feel like they have a home base,
Right.
which is great. Is there anything else you want to say to Burlington, to the voters? This is your...
Just thank you. It's been so many years, and you know, each time people come out for me, and I'm just so thankful and so proud that they will continue to do it. You know, it's great.
All right.
So everybody out there that came out to vote for me today, thank you. It's been a long day, and you can see my hair sticking up, but you know, it's been a long, cold, wet, rainy day with hail, and it was a lot of fun to see so many people.
That's great. Well, go get some rest, and congratulations again.
I
Thank you
know
so much
one
for coming
stop
out.
before the rest.
Which is?
The ESPEJO.
You enjoy. Have a great night. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
out.
you.
Thank
Again,
you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris.
All right, then, I'm not sure if we have any more guests, but we will finish off the precincts anyway. We'll see what happens in the next few minutes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where did we leave off? Precinct.
Number 4, yeah.
Four. Okay. So 6 seats, 3 years in precinct 4. Mark Gerbrins, 220 votes. Douglas Hastings, 212 votes. David J. Miller, 191 votes. Christine Herter Warren, 195 votes. Megan,
Navicek, I think.
thank you, Nicci, 176 votes. And Sally Willard, 189 votes. And only a lucky 7 write-ins. And we're not done with precinct 4.
Oh.
I think, was this a contested race?
No.
No?
It looks contested to
One
me.
year, 1 year, 1 seat.
Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, the 1 year. You're absolutely right.
Brian Francis Harriman, 211 votes, and Reed Cooper with 190 votes. So, welcome to town meeting, Mr. Harriman.
Okay.
I don't know how that escaped all of our awareness.
I
It's a
know.
lot of paper. It's a lot of paper.
All right, precinct 5. So this is one precinct where we did not have enough candidates for the open seats. So if you are somebody who is interested in town meeting, but for whatever reason you didn't run, you can talk to your precinct people and seek an appointment. And precinct 5, we have Craig Callahan with 298 votes, Phyllis Neufeld with 298 votes, Frank Orsino with 282, and I think it's Z Wong with 252 votes. And then there are 85 write-in votes. Suspect I know who this person is, but again, we don't have names, so I won't share it until we know. And then there will be one more open seat, which hopefully could be sought by appointment. All right, we talked about precinct 6, so
Yep.
you want to...
Which is the contested race we knew about.
Yes.
Yes, 3 year, 6 seats, and we have Dan DiTucci Jr. with 302 votes, James Robert Frazic with 256 votes, Darrell C. Interest with 263 votes, William Treligan, 268 votes, Robert Aloisi Jr., I lost my place, 267 votes, Daniel Collins, 250 votes, and James Round with 212 votes, and just 8 write-ins.
Great,
Precinct
and
6, a
then-
big
yeah.
precinct.
It is, yeah. And then on precinct 7, we have, so this is the one with the most open seats. So if you don't hear your name here, it's because you're not on the ballot. Seek an appointment with your precinct representatives. So we've got Tony Salamone. I hope I said that right, Tony. David Van Camp and Adrian Callahan, and Tony got 143 votes, David got 125 votes, and Adrian got 135 votes, and there were 7 write-ins. So maybe you'll get a call from Adrian, from Amy tonight if you are a write-in candidate for precinct 7. And then for the 2-year seats, there were 3 openings but 2 candidates, Julie Cullen and Ryan McSheffrey, so welcome. And there are 2 write-in votes, so maybe we'll be able to fill that last seat. And then for the 1-year seat, Sarah Colley got 146 votes. There was only 1 seat, so that fills that seat.
Great. So I think we've reached the bottom of the ballot. Is that correct?
I think that's it. Yeah.
I see nobody waiting at the stage door here, so
believe we're all
I
set.
think we are all set. Well, thank you, Chris Flaherty. Thank you, Nicci Kadilak.
Thank you, Alan Foulds.
Great being here with both of you.
I'd like to congratulate all the candidates for running great campaigns, and especially, of course, to the winners. And I'm sure you realize now the work really begins. So for Chris and Nicci and all the staff and volunteers here at BCAT, have a pleasant evening. Good night, everyone.
Night.